Good morning, guys. So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to do phonics, numbers, and a think and learn. So the very first thing I need you guys to do is pull out your packet that has the orange sticky note on it. All right, when you have that down, the very first thing I want you to do is pull out the first paper that looks like this. It's a house. All right, so do we see at the very bottom of our paper how we have different items? We have a dress, we have a coffee maker, we have a toothbrush, we have a bicycle, and we have a chair, and we have an iron. Now, let's look at each different picture and let's see what different rooms we have. So the very first picture we have is of a bedroom. Now, what do you think would be in a bedroom? Well, we see a bed and a dresser and a closet with clothes. Now, the very bottom next picture on the bottom is a kitchen. That's where we eat and our parents make us food, right? Now, in the middle picture, we have a bathroom. And the bathroom is where we shower. And then the very bottom picture, we have our living room. That's where our TVs are, our couches, our chairs, and all of that fun stuff's in there. And then our next picture is a very top picture. It's the laundry room. It's where your mommies or your daddies either wash your clothes for you. Now, the very last picture we have is the garage. Sometimes people put the garage, cars go in the garages, or bicycles, or your daddy's tools, or whatever else you can think of goes in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and match these pictures to go into the certain areas. So the very first picture we have is a dress. Do you think our dress goes in the kitchen, or does our dress go in our bedroom in the closet? Our dress would go into our bedroom. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a pencil, get your pencil and draw a line from the dress to the bedroom. All right, very good. Now the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the coffee maker. Now when you wake up in the mornings, what do you see? Are your parents drinking coffee in their bedroom, making coffee in their bedroom, or are they making it in the kitchen? You're right, they're making it in the kitchen because that's where the coffee maker stays. So draw your coffee maker all the way up to your kitchen. Very good. All right, the next one, everyone knows this one. This is a toothbrush. Now, do you brush your teeth in the garage or in the bathroom? You wash it in the bathroom because that's where your sink is, and that's where you can make sure you can clean your teeth. Very good. Very good. Now, the next one we have a bicycle. Now, the bicycle, we ride it outside, but where do we keep it at? Do we keep it outside? Do we keep it in the living room? Or do we keep it in the garage? Well, we keep it in the garage because there's another bike over here that you can see. But also, it likes to stay inside so that way it's nice and warm. So you're going to take your bicycle and draw it all the way over to the garage. All right, the very next one, we have a chair. Now, in all the pictures that we have, where do you think it should go? Do you think it should go in the garage, the laundry room, or the living room? Well, I personally think it should go in the living room because if you see, this is a chair. It looks similar to this chair, but also this is where you sit and you watch TV and you hang out with your family, right? So draw a line from your chair all the way over to the living room. All right, our very last one. This is a iron. This is where we can iron our clothes to make them nice and stiff and straight. Now, where do you think our iron belongs? Our iron belongs in the laundry room. Did you see this item right here? This is what your mommies and daddies use to make their clothes nice and not wrinkled. So draw your iron over to your laundry room. All right, when you get done with that, put your pencils down and your papers down, and let's review our phonics. So we've been learning about how to read words and put our words together as blends. Today I just want to review with you on our vowel sounds. So the very first vowel I want to work with you on is letter A. Now, let's say it together, okay? So I have big A and little a, and A says as in apple. Now, so remember, A says ah. Our very next letter I want to work on with you is letter E. So I have my big E and my little e, and it says as in elephant. So I want you to remember, E says eh. Our very next one is letter U. Now, we don't know this one because U says but let's say it together. We have big U and we have little u, and it says as umbrella. So remember that U says Our next letter is letter I, and I says as an inchworm. So let's say it together. I have my big I and my little I, and it says as an inchworm. So remember, when you're saying your nose will go up because it's making a different sound than eh. All right, our very last vowel, we all know it, it's letter O. So we have our big O and our little o, and it says as in ostrich. So I want you to remember that big O and little o says ah. All right, so let's see. Let's pull out our paper that looks like, if I can get it coming out, looks like this. We've done it before, we've already done it together once, but let's try and do it again together to see that we all make sure we get it right the first time. So the instructions say, color just the boxes with the vowels in them to find out where rough lives. Then color rough. So what I want us to do together is we're going to do this paper together. We're going to work on it together. So I want you to get out one crayon or one color, whatever you want. All right, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the very top line. This line right up here. We're looking for all of our vowels. So we know our vowels. We just went over them. It's A, E, I, O, and U. So our very first line, I have a blank space, blank, a W, nothing. I have an I, and then all the way over here I have a K. So which letter do you think we should color in on the very first line? You're right, we should color in the I. So while I color in my I want you to color in your I with me. And it doesn't have to be pretty, just as long as we know what letter it is. Very good. All right, we're going to do the next line. We have blanks and a T, blanks and an A, and a U, and then blanks, and then a B, and blanks. Which letter do you think, or letters, do you think we should be coloring in on this line? You're right. So we have two vowels. We have A and we have U. So go ahead and color in those lines for me. Color in A and in U. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. All you're wanting to do is follow along with me. All right. Let's go on to the next line. All right, we have a blank and an L and a blank and a blank and a blank. Oh, we have another vowel. We have an A, blank and a blank and an E, a blank, blanks, and a C. Which letter do you think we should color in? You're right. We need to color in our letter A and our letter E. So go ahead and start coloring in that in for me. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just color it in so you know what it's making. All right, our next line, we have a Y, a T, an E, a D, a G, a U, and an H. Do we have more than one vowel on this line? Well, let's look at it. Let me see. I count 2. How many do you count in your line? Right, we have two. So we need to make sure we're coloring in letter E and letter U. Go ahead and color that in for me. Is your paper looking like mine? Are we seeing a shape being formed? All right, our next line is letter A, F, L, and I. Now, I think we have two vowels on this paper. Can somebody tell me the very first vowel? Yeah, it's A. And then what's our other one? Our other vowel is I. So I want you to go ahead and color in letter A and letter I. Now remember, if you make a mistake and you colored in the wrong thing, that's okay. Just cross it out so we know how to fix it. All right, the very next line. We only have two letters. Look at it. And what are they? We have O and we have O. So what are we going to do? We're going to color them in. Very good. Go ahead and color in your O's. All right. Now the next line has a lot of letters, so let's look at it. We have an I, an A, an O, a lowercase I, a lowercase e, a capital E, a capital A, a capital O, a lowercase o, a capital U, a lowercase u, and an E. Aren't those all vowels? You're right, they are all vowels. So what are we going to do? We're going to color them all in. So go ahead and color in all your vowels on that one line. Remember, we just did it together, so we should be coloring in all of our vowels on that line. Should look like this. Whoa, what is it looking like? It's a triangle. So you think it's his house, the top of his house? Or do you think it's something different? Well, I guess we're going to have to keep coloring to find out what's happening on here. So, the very next line, I have a U, an N, an R, a U, an F, and an F, and an I, and a G. Now, we don't have to color in rough because it's already there. So, let's look at our vowels. I have a U, so we're going to color that one in. Another U, so we're going to color that one in. And that's an N, it's not a vowel. All the way over. And I have an I, which we're going to color that in because that's a vowel. And then we have a G. So we're only going to color in 3 boxes. So we're going to color in both of our U's. And we're going to color in our I. All right, so go ahead and color that in for me, okay? All right, very good. So do you see that? You're supposed to color in your U, your I, and your A. Very good job. All right, our next line looks like this. So we have a couple of blanks, an O, some blanks. When we have A, I, O, and U, and a couple more blanks, an S, a U, and an M. If we remember, our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So what are some of the ones we see on here? Well, we see our O and our A, I, O, and U, and another U. So go ahead and color those vowels in for me. All right, is your paper looking like mine? All right, the very next line, we have a W, an E, a U, an L, and an A. So what letters do you think we should color in? Well, I think we should color in our E, our U, our I, and our A. So go ahead and color those in for me on that line that we're working on, right under the line we just did. All right, we're getting there. We're getting close to the bottom. All right, very next line, we have a C, a U, an O, an E, an A, and an S. So, what's the very first one we should color in? Our U. Very good. So color in your U, your O, your E, and your A. Oh, we're getting down next to rough. All right, let's see. Our next one we have a capital I, we have a lowercase I, we have rough, we have U, and we have lowercase I. So, which letters on here are we going to color in? We're going to color all of them on that line because they're all vowels. We have I's and U's. So go ahead and color in that line for me. Remember, you're only coloring in your vowels. Don't color in the blank boxes. All right, the next line we have a capital A, lowercase u, lowercase e, capital A, lowercase u, and capital O. Now, can you tell me, are those our vowels? Yeah, because our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So go ahead and color in all your vowels on this line with rough on it. All right, is it starting to look like mine? All right, the very last line, let's see what letters that we have. We have letter B, letter N, letter W, letter S, H, and R. Can you tell me, do we have any vowels on that line? We don't have any vowels, you're right, because our vowels are what again? They're A, E, I, O, and U. So we're going to leave that line alone. We're not going to color it. But I want you to look at it. We made Ruff's doghouse. Do you see his roof? And the other parts to make his little hole for him to sleep in? Very good. Now what I want you to do now is I want you to put your crayon down, put your pencil down, and put your hands in your lap. And let's work on our numbers now. So, you know in numbers, how we've been learning about how to read a clock. And we've learned that our small little hand is the hour hand. And our really long hand is the minute hand. Right, and so, remember our red hand is the hour and our long hand is the minute. So I'm going to show you a time. And I want you to tell me what time you think it is, okay? Let's see. What time do you think my clock says? If we look at our minute hand, it's up pointing at the 12. And then our hour hand's pointing at the 2. So we're at 2 o'clock. So if you were writing that, it would be a 2 and then 2, 0. So it'd be 2, 0, 0. Very good. Let's do that again. All right, let's do another one. All right. Look for the hour hand. What's my hour hand at? You're right, my hour hand's pointing to the 5. And my minute hand is still pointing at the 12, right? So what time do you think we have on the clock? We have 5 o'clock. Very good, because we know our hour hand's at the 5, and we have 2 zeros up top, so it's 5 o'clock. Very good. Let's do one more, and then we can move on to our worksheet. All right. Look at your hour hand, and look at your minute hand. Where is your minute hand pointing? Your minute hand's pointing at the very top. So we all know that it's going to have 2 zeros at the very end. Now, where's our hour hand at? Our hour hand's at the 10. So it's going to be 10 o'clock. So it's going to have a 10 and then 2 zeros after that. Very good job. All right, let's go ahead and pull out our worksheet. Let's see. Our worksheet looks just like this. And you might say, Miss Davis, we've already done this worksheet. But you know what? It's always good to review. So, the very first picture, clock on here. Where is your smallest hand pointing to? It's pointing to the 3, so go ahead and write a 3 right there. All right, moving on. Now, which hand? We have a hand pointing at the 6. We have our hand pointing at the clock, at the 12. So what time do you think it is? Yeah, you're right, it's 6 o'clock. So go ahead and write a 6 for me right here. Very good, and try your best. If you can't write your 6 by yourself, just try your best. All right, the next one. Now, where's my small hand, my hour hand pointing to? Let's see. It's pointing to the 8. And my minute hand's pointing to the 12. So that must mean it's 8 o'clock. So go ahead and write me an 8 right here. Okay? Now, if you feel like you can go on without me, go ahead and move on without me, but I'm going to keep going with this. But if you get done, great job. But if you want to make sure your answers are correct, just stick with me, okay? All right, the very next thing I have, my minute hand is also at my 8. My hour hand's also at my 8, and my minute hand's also at the 12. So what time do we have again? We have 8 o'clock. Very good. All right, our next one, we're right here. Are we following along? All right, my smallest hand is pointing to the 4, and my big hand, my minute hand's pointing to the 12. So what time do you think we have? We have 4 o'clock. So go ahead and write me a 4 right here in this space. Very good, and moving on. All right, my next one, oh, this could be a tricky one. Now, my minute hand is up at the 12, but so is my hour hand. So what time do we think it is on our clock? You're right, if it's pointing to the 12, it's 12 o'clock. So you're gonna write a 1 and a 2 to make 12 o'clock. Very good job. All right, oh, we're almost done. Now, my smallest hand, is my smallest hand pointing to the 9 or the 12? I'm looking for the hour. You're right, my minute hand's pointing, my hour hand's pointing to the 9. Very good. So, if my minute hand's pointing to the 12, that means it is 9 o'clock. So go ahead and write a 9 right here in this box for me, please. All right, we're moving on to right here. All right, now my minute hand's pointing up to the 12. And then what number is this? It's 7. So what time do you think we have on our clock? It's 7 o'clock. So you're gonna go ahead and write a 7 right here and leave my zeros to make 7 o'clock. All right, last one. Now, what's my minute hand pointing to? My minute hand's pointing to the 12, so we know we'll have 2 zeros. Now, where's my hour hand pointing to? Yeah, my hour hand's pointing all the way straight down to the bottom, and that's at number 6. So what time do we have? We have number 6. Very good job. All right, very good. So, we have learned our phonics. We reviewed all of our vowels. We reviewed more about a clock. We did a think and learn trying to figure out which objects go to certain areas. So we're almost done for the day, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. But we'll see you tomorrow. I'm also going to send you another video with me reading you a book. So whenever you have a chance, go and watch that video, but also do your worksheets, try your best, and know that we're here for you. and we'll see you next Tuesday.